Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Ladies and gents, boys and girls. First interview this evening, obviously, is Akwasi Asante, so a round of applause, please, for Akwasi. So we'll push on with a few questions then, Akwasi. Obviously, welcome to, a bit belated, you've been here a few weeks now, but welcome to Tamworth FC. And thank you for the time, your time this evening. You were born in Holland, I believe.
Yeah, that's right. I was born in Amsterdam. My parents are originally from Ghana. They moved over to Holland about 25 years ago. So yeah, born in Amsterdam.
You moved over to England around about the age of 13.
Yeah, I was 13 when I moved over. It was Christmas 2005, I think it was, yeah. And my parents decided to move over. So yeah, 13.
Did you play a lot of football when you were just a kid, a few years old, over in Holland?
Yeah, as far as I can remember, I've always played football. I got a younger brother who's only a year and a half younger than me. He plays for Stratford, and we always used to just play football on the streets and with all my mates, yeah, I've always played football as far as I can remember.
Now, when you moved over to England at age 13, was it always on your mind then that you wanted to progress in football and become a professional footballer and just make your way in the game?
Yeah, because when I moved over, just before I moved over, I was playing for a team called Haarlem in Holland, and they were a professional team at the time. They were in the Dutch equivalent to the Championship, and that was my first professional club. So when I moved over, I was a bit gutted because obviously I just left a professional team. But my mom promised me that you'd find a team over here, which I did.
And I did a little bit of digging around. The internet's a wonderful thing. Wednesbury Sports Union, is that right?
Yeah, that was the first team I joined when I come over. It was I was living in Warsaw, so it was a local team. My mates from school played for Wednesbury Sports Unit, and they asked me to come and join them. So I ended up playing for them for a season.
So you played for Wednesbury, and then all of a sudden, Birmingham City. How did that come about?
Yeah. I did really well at Wednesbury, and I was there for a season, and I was scoring loads of goals. I think I scored like 45 goals in like 18 games or something like that. And one of the players, his dad was a scout for Birmingham, so he watched pretty much all season, and he wanted to take me earlier, but the manager asked if I could stay for a season, and then they could take me on the next season. So I played for a season, and he took me there the following season.
So massive move, and no doubt you probably thought that was your break and you'd made it. And just tell us a little bit about your experience at Birmingham.
Yeah, I loved it. I was 14 when I first signed for Birmingham, and it was hard going from playing amateur football to an academy. It took me a while to get used to it. Everyone was a lot fitter than me, so it took me a while to get fitness, and I did well. I managed to get a scholarship, and then I also managed to get an early pro. So I did really enjoy it at Birmingham.
Ultimately, the things didn't pan out perhaps as you would have liked at Birmingham, and you had a few loan spells, and eventually you signed for Solihull Moors.
I signed for Kidderminster actually after Birmingham City, but yeah, I signed my pro, and I was on the fringes. I was around the first team. I made the bench. I made my debut, but then I was a bit unfortunate with injuries. I kept breaking down with injuries, so they did try and keep me on. They offered me another pro after my first one ended, and they showed a bit of faith in me, but I couldn't stay fit. So they just said, look, we're going to have to let you go, which was fair enough at the time, you know. I was 21 at the time, and that's when when I left Birmingham, I was signed for Kidderminster. So I was at Kidderminster for half a season, and then I signed for Solihull Moors the season after that.
Okay. Well, you found your feet at Solihull, went on to score a load of goals for Solihull, and of course won promotion from the North League, which is, what was it called then in that season?
I think it was the one around National North.
Conference North.
Was it the
We're going
National North? I think it was National
We're
North.
going back a couple of seasons now, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, very very fruitful spell for you, Kwasi.
Yeah, you know, when I left Kidderminster, they were in the Conference Prem, and Solihull were the league below. But you know, I felt like Solihull were going places. I knew, you know, some of the lads there as well, so I decided to join them, and it paid off because, you know, we did really well. We won the league. I finished top goal scorer, so you know, it was everything just went fantastic, really. Yeah.
Managed to stay injury free for a while then, and show your class on the pitch.
Yeah. You know, I think that season I only missed one game through injury, so I did well in terms of injuries. You know, ever since I've left Birmingham, I've touched wood. You know, I've been okay. I've not had many injuries.
Touch wood for that. Did you play alongside Daryl Knights at Solihull Moors?
Yeah. Darren Knights was at Solihull when I was there. He was obviously the number 10. You know, we played a 3-5-2 system, and Knights, he was, you know, the main man in the 10. He scored loads of goals, and he got a few assists. So you know, he was a key player for us that year, definitely.
It must be make it a lot more comfortable for you, Kwasi, when you come to join Tamworth. Of course, that you already know Daryl Knights. So you're in the same team with somebody that you played alongside for a number of games at Solihull.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it always helps when you know some of the players. It helps you settle in quicker. I know I'm Vermont as well for my time at Kidderminster. Yeah. So and Joe Kettle, because he was at Solihull Moors. So obviously knowing some of the lads definitely helps, and it's also one of the reasons why I decided to come. You know. Because I was speaking to Knightsy as well. I stayed in touch with him, and he was asking me what I was doing and stuff. So yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons why I decided to come.
Kind of answered my next question really. That was to be, how did it come about? The move to Tamworth, how did it come about? Because you were at Grimsby, weren't you?
Yeah, I was at Grimsby. Signed for Grimsby last year, January. So I was there for a year, but I was limited to game time this season. I played a bit last season when Marcus was there, but when he got the sack and the new manager came in, you know, I struggled with game time. So I decided the best thing for me to do was to go somewhere where I'm going to play and get game time.
Yeah, and you signed an 18-month deal here at the Lamb, so you're here to stay, which is great. And I think we've seen over the course of the last month or so, as you've been getting your game time, that you're starting to show your fitness now, and you're starting to find your feet a little bit.
Yeah, you know, before I come here, I hadn't played for 2 or 3 months, so it's always going to be hard, you know, going straight into it. I came in and I played 3 games in a week, which is, you know, not usually you wouldn't do that if you haven't played for a few months. So, but I got through it, feel fine, you know, no injuries, touch wood again.
Yeah, touch wood, everybody. Moving on to something a little bit very current. The other night we were, of course, at Salford, tabletop in Salford, and there was a situation late on where penalty was awarded. Zach come on as a sub and he gets brought down. Now, Mike Fowler's publicly criticised Zach in the press over taking that responsibility for the penalty and subsequently missing it. And it turns out that you're the designated penalty taker. So, just elaborate a little bit for us on what actually went on the pitch?
I think it's one of them where, you know, I heard since restart you left, you haven't had the penalty. So,
That's right.
yeah, so it's a bit unclear on who's on penalties. So I think maybe that's what it was, you know, because you haven't had a penalty for such a long time. No one knows who's on penalty. So I think when you got brought down, he felt like, you know, he was confident that he was going to score, which you can't blame him for, you know. When you win a penalty, you're forward, you want to score. So I did ask him because as far as I was concerned, I was on penalties, you know. So I did ask him if I could take it. He said no, he wants to take it. So I asked him again. He said no, kept the ball. So I said, all right, you know, he took it. And, unfortunately, he missed because we would have won. It's gone now, so we move on.
Yeah, we can't change it, can we? We could maybe, if a similar situation arises, hopefully it will be a lot clearer, because those points at the end of the day, that could have been 3 points, and to come away from that with nothing, the way it panned out with their late winner, was very, very hard to take. And a few of you lads were actually just flat out on the pitch. You'd given it your all, and emotionally, you were shattered.
Yeah, you know, the lads gave it their all, like you said. You know, we all worked really hard, and we felt hard done by, you know, the way we lost the game. You know, myself, I was very disappointed at the end of the game as well. You know, I was gutted. I've lost a lot of games, but that one was hard to take, the way we lost that game. But you know, they're top of the table for a reason. You know, these things happen. You know, it's a hard place to go. So we've done well. I'm sure the fans and the manager were proud of our performance.
Yeah, I think, I can't speak for everybody, but me personally, I was commentating on the radio that evening, and we were just exasperated really with how it had panned out, and we really felt that we deserved something out of the game. Take the first maybe 15, 20 minutes out of it where we could have been a couple down, really grew into the game, and they knew they were in the game, and that luck wasn't really with us. Just moving on, just a little bit more light-hearted now, Kwasi. We often ask players these kind of things towards the end of the interviews. So my question to you now is: do you have any pre-match rituals or superstitions? And if so, what are they?
I don't think I have any. No, I don't think I have any really. You know, as long as I sleep well on a Friday night, that's the most important thing for me. I need a good night rest, and I need my pasta in the morning. That's it.
So no lucky pants to wear or anything like that?
Nope, nothing. I say a little prayer before the game, and that's it.
Yeah. That's fair enough, thank you for that. Another light-hearted question. In the changing room, we've asked questions as we've gone along to players this season. Who would you say is the messiest player in the changing room?
All of them.
You know, I've not been here long enough to know who the messiest player is, so no comment on that one. I'm not too sure. Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Who trains the hardest? And you've got. I think we need to exclude Burnsy out of this one because everyone says Burnsy. So other than Burnsy, who trains the hardest?
It's got to be me.
Good answer, Kwasi. Okay. That's it really from myself. Can we just throw it out to you guys? Has anybody got a question they'd like to ask Kwasi while we've got him here at our mercy? Tom?
What do you think Tamworth need to do in these last few games apart from with what do you think the expectations are from now until the end of the season? From a player's point of view.
I think, judging by the last game, well, since I've been here, 4 games, I think if we keep doing what we did on Tuesday, we will be alright. You know, we played well against top of the table. You know, yeah, you know, we could have, you know, come away with 3 points. So I think if we just carry on what we just did on Tuesday, then we'll be fine.
But ever since Danny Newton left our club, we've always needed a striker, and obviously we brought yourself in once, Andy Morrow left. Obviously watching your highlights at Solihull, and how many goals you got for Tamworth now? You got 2 in you?
I've got 1.
Right. Yeah, okay. Do you reckon, what's your target for goals this season?
You know what? I don't really set targets, because I joined like towards the end. Well, season's pretty much done. Well, not done, but there's like 15 games to go. It's hard to set target. But usually at the start of the season, I set myself a 20-goal target. I think that's, you know, for a striker, that's good. So, because I joined so late, I haven't set myself a target. You know, I just go into every game planning on scoring a goal. You know, I believe I can go in the game and score.
When we watched it at Alfreton, and we was just like buzzing to have you on, and we thought, well, obviously with your first shot, like you're going to score goals. So I look forward to next season as well.
Yeah, that's you know, that's why they brought me in.
Yeah, it's good, man.
And I've always scored goals, so you know, if I would have took the penalty on Tuesday, I would have been 2 in 4, which is average 25 goals a season. You know,
Exactly.
but now it's 1 in 4, so it's
I get 2 on Saturdays. Yeah.
so. But yeah.
Thank you, Tom. Anybody else got a question for Kwasi?
Are you finding 3G?
I enjoy 3G. I think it's good. Yeah. A lot of people say complain about 3G. We're saying it's hard on your joints and stuff, but
I've had a lot that this season. That some players have come here who obviously played here before and refuse to play because they say it's too hard to play.
really, I don't have a problem with it. You know, so far I've been fine with it. I'm happy with it.
Okay, thank you everybody. I think we need to wrap that one up there. Just obviously give your appreciation for Kwasi this evening. Thank you very much.